Out of the Box Podcast. Fasten your seatbelts, hold on tight. You're about to watch Out of the Box Podcast. Watch at your own risk. Aliens, the paranormal, religion, politics, conspiracy theories, disclaimer, not responsible for minds blown beyond repair. Out of the Box. Presented by Jim Andre and co-host Bradley Powers. The show begins now. How you doing, everyone? It's Out of the Box Podcast. I'm here with I was going to say co-host. I got to keep repeating myself. Bradley seems to think it's a lower level by being described as a co-host. My other host,
Cassidae
Powers. And we have two special guests today. Cassidae Lightwing, the alien, and Donnie Lothridge. How you doing, guys?
Hi, Gene.
Hello, Mr. Jim.
Hey,
Mr.
get used
Bradley.
to it, guys. You're going to see a lot more of this face.
We'll have to face it, right?
You ain't gonna believe this. I can't find the show. Yes, oh God, it's G. Miller. It's the lion.
It's me.
The lion is with us.
And a good thing, too.
And I'm not lying.
Okay, the settings you have on the camera are screwing me up. I'm like, ah. And, of course, my hair is being played by Gene Miller today. Not Gene Miller. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Gene Simmons from Kiss.
Kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gene Simmons from Kiss.
They say lightning doesn't strike twice, but now we've got Cassidae, the man, Lightwing.
Ish. Gene says, one way or another, I'm going to find you. Yes, I agree. Kiss is awesome. But their hair is a little out of control, we have to admit.
Crazy nights, my friend, crazy nights.
So, Jim, are you going to introduce and start the show or what?
Yeah, I already did, basically. I mean, I already introduced you guys.
Welcome to
Don't
Out of the Box Podcast, presented by Jim Andre, myself,
My
Bradley
mic
Powers,
working?
with special guest Donnie Lothridge, government agent, ex-government agent, of course, and alien abductee, along with healer Cassidae Lightwing, the alien.
I still object. I am not an alien. I'm an EBE. I was born in Denver, for Christ's sakes.
He's not one of us, everybody. He's one of somebody else.
Okay, by that definition, I'll give it to you. I am definitely different from the DNA up.
Yeah, I mean, that does say Cass Lightwing, the alien.
Yeah, that's true. That's what I was saying. So I just learned about Donnie's government connections this morning. Would you like to tell us? Would you like to tell us about it, Donnie? Jim has my camera backward.
My alien abduction happened when I was 12 or 13 years old, and then when I entered law enforcement, I ended up once I explained, with talking to the guys and stuff, and the more they learned about me, eventually I ended up in the back of Washington, D.C., where I was interrogated by a general and hooked to the same technology that the aliens was using on me. And then later on, I was captured by this thing again. I actually pressed down on my bed by it as they examined recorded my mind in the 4 quarters. And that's when they started torturing me, because they were looking for something and they couldn't find it.
I want to ask questions, but I'm not sure if it would be too much. Is it okay if we ask details about this, what sounds like a very traumatic situation?
Yes, sir. What details?
Well, like, for example, this is going to sound really, really odd, but can you describe the technology? Let's start there. What did it look like? What did it feel like?
All right, when I was abducted by aliens, there was a band they put on my head, and they could view every day of my life, and they used it for like a painkiller as they did their biopsies on my body or whatever they done in the experiment. They'd park it on a happy place, and they would talk to me about it. And they would gleam in my face to where all I could see was an alien head right here in front of me as they were doing it. But they extracted fluids from my body. When I was interrogated by the government, he would ask me questions that would lead him to places in my mind where they could view it. And he'd bring me to and put me out, and bring me to and put me out. He asked what my connection was in law enforcement, and I told him I was local. And then when I come back to, he said, "Oh, you're a lot more than local." He said, "Tell me who you connected with and give me your badge number." So I told him, and I said, "You can't access my file through the badge number. It takes a phrase." He said, "Well, give me the phrase." I said, "Because of the stuff I've done for the government." So he sent his first aid, and he came back, and he said, "Yeah, he's who he said he was." So then when they put me on the road again, they asked me several questions about my death, being with God, and my alien abduction.
Right.
And when I come to again, I was in my truck again, and out on the road, they kept trying to talk to me with our minds, like the aliens in us, and like we did. But my mind kept going back to my alien abduction, and they said, "We're gonna have to do this the old time anyway." So they went back to the CBs using it because I was giving them information about my abduction, and they just said, "Whoa, wait a minute." So, and
Now, when you
then
say,
go ahead.
no, you go ahead. I interrupted. I'm being rude.
Oh, I'm sorry. So when they started torturing me with it, is when they pushed me down against my own bed with it, and it was like I was in a hospital room somewhere on a bed. And so they started quoting my mind, and they explained it all to me what they were going to do with it. And then they started torturing me with it because I was accused by a federal agent, and I call them my kidnappers, of some things that I didn't do. And I told him, I said, "If you can find this thing, what you looking for, you be my guest." I said, "But if not, y'all need to turn me loose." So they started torturing me at that time, hitting me in my knees, my legs, my private parts, my mind, so my heart. So there wasn't a part on me they couldn't touch or cause me pain. And they said, "We can kill you with this thing. If we find what we're looking for, we'll kill you right here." So I said, so when they started looking, they seen like before I was born, when I was with God. And so then they said, "Don't bring God into this thing." So he said, "Don't ever bring God before me." And then I said, "Well, you better buckle your seatbelt because before this is over with, you're gonna see angels and a dragon and all kind of crazy stuff." So, and they did. So
Yeah. Well, the other dimensions are full of a lot of the things that people consider to be quote unquote fantasy. You know.
yes, sir. But they viewed every day. They viewed every day of my life. I'm still hooked to it. And that was 6 years ago when they started, and they torture me with it pretty much day and night. They'll hit me 2 or 3 times a day with it, and talk to me all the time on it. So, but they can see what I see and they can hear what I hear, and that's what the government was using it for. No matter where I went and who I talked to, they had it.
That concerns me. You know, the idea that they've had this all the way back then. You know, I mean, I do understand what it's like to have to be like naked before some kind of like, machine or device. That's common out there. But for a 12-year-old child to be hooked up to one of those is kind of a crime. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, the aliens did that, so
yeah,
that's when I was on their ship.
Hence the concerning part. Now you said aliens. You got a really good look at their face. What did they look like? I'm pretty sure I know, but
Area 51. What you see pictures of them with the big eyes,
like the little dudes peeking around in the show.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, Jim, you think these guys might have been Zetas? Because I don't know. I'm getting kind of a nope vibe.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think they're intrusive in that manner. You know what I'm saying? What he's describing, I don't think
Yeah.
these Zetas are involved. What did they look like to you, Bradley? I mean, Donnie. What species did they appear to be?
They appear to be just short grays like what's on Area 51.
Well, you know, there are such things as tall grays, which are very different from the short grays. Could they have been the tall grays?
They may have been.
In other words, all you remember seeing is them looking over you, right?
Yes, sir.
Did you get any perception or depth of their height?
They didn't seem to be very tall to me.
Well, you were 12.
I was 12.
I imagine you're significantly taller now.
Yes, 6'4". Yes.
Hey.
Hey guys.
But I'm
Tom here.
Why did I wait not to be rude to join into this this awesome conversation?
Tom here. What it is? Tom,
Nice to be back. Cassidy, long time, my friend. Nice to see you.
yeah,
Nice to
Tom,
see you,
good.
Rusty.
Tom has a question
Cheers,
for
Tom.
Donnie, actually.
Oh no, it wasn't so much a question as it was just to kind of get involved with the topic of such like I was having a conversation with Donnie earlier, and I've had this conversation with Bradley a few times about talking about abduction in general. You always wonder, like for you gentlemen, if it's a case of having a lot to discuss based on comprehension. My only kind of input to this was like you always wonder, like to the outsider, abduction can be something that can be considered malevolent or non-malevolent in a really the crudest way to put it, really. But in this case, I guess the question sprung from with regards to this gentleman was you wonder what that species is looking to gain from the person they're abducting or the creature they're abducting, like what they're looking to gain from. I used two complete opposites earlier. One was Travis Walton, and another man called Whitley Strieber. I know there's many other people that have been abducted that have, well, in this case, many that haven't been mentioned or that anyone really knows about.
So
in this case, these are two cases that we all know about from adaptation in literature and in cinema. Travis Walton was a case of a malevolent nature to the abduction, where his experience was very traumatic and very much malevolent. Whereas Travis Walton's experience was whereas Whitley Strieber's was very much the opposite. He describes his experience of abduction as being very whimsical and very bewildering. Like he didn't feel under pressure. He didn't feel like he was being taken advantage of, and he didn't feel like he was being attacked in any way, I guess.
So what was the actual question you had to ask? We got this 60-minute show.
Yeah.
We only get a couple of minutes each to speak. So what was your question, Tom?
Well, my question was for Donnie was, so would you consider your experience quite malevolent, or like what's your take on the experience?
It was very real. It wasn't like I was having a dream or out of my body or anything like that.
What it means is, were these bad guys or good guys?
Yeah.
Well, they brought me back with the hot night of that. But the way they kept me asleep unless they were doing something to me. So it's not like we had any conversations like I was walking around on their ship or anything.
Right. So would it be accurate to say that they were trying to be good guys, just didn't quite know how? Because, they're aliens, you're human.
Well, with them, it's more like a computer anyway, because they don't have a spirit or soul. They're flat and they're doing what they're doing. And since they have your mind, they have your body, and there's no arguing or discussing about it.
Well,
you just answered the question.
When there's an alien abduction and nobody has been abducted before, they're abducted for the first time, they're going to consider that kind of scary. So
Yeah.
whether the aliens would have good or bad intentions, it's going to come across as, what am I doing here, and why am I here, and who are these? You know what I'm saying? So psychologically, it's not a very calm experience, if you will. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
It works on your psyche. So
Part of why I was asking is because over the years their techniques have become, depending on the tribe we're talking about, their techniques have become a lot more humane to the point of being friendly. It's just a lot of those early contacts were very, very bad. But you just answered the question as to what kind they were when you mentioned they had no souls. Those were blanks. So that those were definitely not Zetas. Zetas have souls. They're just culpable to the same kind of mistakes everybody else is.
Gene Miller's asking, what do you think they want?
Who's she asking me?
Well,
Just
in
ask.
general, all of us, I guess, if you want to go first, Donnie.
For me, what it was, I was like a lab rat. I mean, they were just taking fluids out of my body at different places, different parts.
Right.
So it was like a biopsy for them.
I think they were looking for a certain vibration of harmonic in your conscious experience. And what that means is, like they said, don't bring God into it. Last thing they want to do in a situation like this is bring the holy vibes into it. Otherwise, bad things would happen. However, it seems like they're looking for the moment your consciousness became human. Does that make sense?
Yeah, to me that makes sense. Like, I apologize to all of you for being very vague on my question or kind of my statement, but it's a case of, I guess I was trying to say in a way like, it'd be very easy to put it in a black and white context. However, I realize that there's a lot more to it. So I asked about how Donnie's experience is perceived, or anyone that's been in this situation, I guess, was it's not as simplistic as being they're cool or they're not cool. There's a lot more to it. It depends what that experience means for the person involved and the person being part of that experience. Like, there's a lot to consider.
We did pass by God's planet 2 or 3 times and did talk about him. So they do recognize, the ones that had me do recognize who God is.
Yeah.
How many times were you abducted, Donnie?
As far as being taken, now as far as feeling floating and all that other stuff, I went through what everybody else does. But I mean, as far as being abducted, that would be the only time that they took me.
Gene Miller's asking, did anything hurt?
Did anything hurt? My whole body hurt, pretty much.
When they abducted you?
When they abducted me, I didn't feel anything. They kept me knocked out until my brain got to logging what was going on.
Did someone take your teeth out, Donnie?
Yeah, these last people that took this, started torturing me. Said, we wanted to show you. No, it was human. It was the government. They said, we want to show you what we got you hooked to for real. And they cut my teeth out of my head and run me out of the state with it.
Did they use anesthetic, or did they just take them out raw?
No, they just cut them off right even with the gun, all the way across.
Wow.
Top
really?
and bottom. And left about 4 at the bottom, right there. The rest of them they cut out. And I said, now, as a military tool, this would be ideal because there was a minimum amount of pain in what they done. It wasn't maximum. They were just showing me what they could do with this thing.
Right.
Now, I guess I'm gonna send in the dentist bill when I have to go sometime or another and get it seen about.
Right.
But yeah, this thing is serious. But I'm hooked to.
It's all very, very serious. It's one of the reasons why we're, pushing the way we're pushing. And, it's all very, very serious. I'm sure many of the abductees would agree. Humans are being hunted and harvested. However, as many of the other abductees would agree, you aren't alone in this. There are people trying to help. Not all the ETs are bad guys.
Donnie, when you were abducted, that was before this government came into play, right?
Oh yes, sir. Well, I was abducted in the 70s.
All right, so maybe that's one reason why the government connected with you, because of that abduction.
Yes, sir.
That makes
It could
sense.
have been. Yes.
But we can't say that all abductions are involved government conspiracy, because they're not. Because like we can't say that yours was, Jim, can we? You know, we can't say that all governments are connected. I mean, all abductions are connected to the government. We can't say that. We can't say all spiritual entities
No, but
engage.
what I mean to say is, if the government has some type of technology or gets wind of an abduction, they can probably, do what they want to do to intervene in some way. If you get what
So
I mean.
it's fair to say some can, some cases are, and some cases aren't. That's what we're saying, isn't it, Jim?
I mean, I guess it depends on the purpose of the abduction to begin with, or whatever it may be. I don't know.
Like, what Jim said, it was a case of like, there's a lot, it's very broad. There's a lot to be discussed on that topic, I guess.
Thank you to the forum for watching. And Harold, hello there, and Gene Miller, Mike McFarlane's with us, Billy Bennett, and Mike Hewins. Thank you, everybody, for joining us in this. We have Cassidae Lightwing is in the house. Billy Bennett is there.
Yeah,
Cassidae,
did you want to talk about some project you're doing?
Yeah, well, I figured we'd talk about that towards the end of the show, but yeah. Right. So, yeah, hit me from the left. Okay, so essentially, folks, what we're doing is a fundraising operation to get us that last bit over the edge to being, getting everything done and professional and working properly. To that end, we're creating basically figures. We've been talking about this for quite a long time, but now it's time to kind of show you guys a little bit. So essentially, what we're doing is trying to introduce the goings on of the hyperspace wars to you guys, through a lens of dark fiction, i.e., vampires, werewolves, things like that, and psychic aliens. And the first book has already been released. That's called Skeins of Fate Earthbreaker. It's on Amazon.com.
Cool.
And what was that?
I was saying, cool. That sounds awesome.
Oh, thank you. And the accompanying board game. For those of you who gamers out there, war game, role-playing game, tabletop, all that stuff. The accompanying figures are finally almost ready to be done. So now what you're looking at right there, that's Vision Graphics. That's one member of Parafem, and that is the person handling all of our printing needs, books, business cards, all of that. And again, they're a member of Parafem. So we're keeping everything in-house, just like we've been promising all these years. Okay, that's one of the figures. That's a commemorative figure for Shar. We did it. Well, God, this is so hard to talk about. It was even harder to make. We did a series of figures, like for each genre. There's a fantasy, what you're looking at right there is a sci-fi. There's a fantasy one, a Harry Potter. There's even a Star Wars. I mean, it's me. There's Star Wars Shar.
This is Shar. This is Cassidae Lightwing's daughter, who recently crossed over to the next life. This is Cassidae Lightwing's daughter, called Shar.
Yeah.
For those who don't know.
We're carrying on her dream. She wanted to own a toy store and be internet famous on YouTube and, kid stuff. So in her memory, we're making all those dreams come true. Oh,
well,
crap.
With her dreams continue with you, sir. So.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
oh, who is this handsome gentleman we see?
Hey, Gene Miller, thank you for that. We love you, Bradley. Well, here is my 3D avatar of me on sale, $20. Bradley Powers with a magic wand and a tunic and a black goatee beard, which is normally black, and my square glasses. Thank you to Cassidae Lightwing for manifesting this quality figure, Bradley Powers, in the house as a 3D avatar.
Well, you're welcome, Bradley, but we couldn't have done it.
Miller.
You're welcome, Bradley, but we couldn't have done it without the audience. Oh, and surprise, Bradley! I didn't show you that one earlier.
No, I like it. Yeah, wow. In your shop, soon to be delivered, $20 per piece. Well, value for money.
They're pre-ordered.
Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah, God, blimey, I need some of those shots. I think you sent them to Jim, didn't you? Jim, you need to share them, Jim, with me so I can post them on my timeline. Yeah, fabulous. Thank you so much. And this is Shah,
Fantasy Shar, yeah.
Fantasy Shah. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Have you got the one of you as well, Cassidae?
Excuse me. I was working on that one today, and I was looking at it, going,
Oh, it's lovely. Yeah.
I look good. Dang, maybe
Yeah.
I should work out. But yeah, that's Shar. She loved Dungeons and Dragons and all sorts of games. There's Harry Potter Shar. She was Ravenclaw. Fun story. Part of her Make-A-Wish, they actually arranged for her to go through the entire sorting, getting your wand, the whole 9 yards at Universal in Florida. So she got sorted into Ravenclaw before the end. Yeah, that last one was Modern Shar. No frills and whistles. And
yeah, very nice indeed. Yeah, Bradley Powers in the house. Very nice indeed. And who is this one?
that is our flagship character. Her name is Ares. Yes, like the Zodiac. She's a future fantasy style character.
Cool. That's awesome. Wow.
Wow. Yeah, well, good luck with your venture, and I hope it's very successful.
Yeah, I sent him a million, and we don't have to go through all of them if you don't want to, Jim.
All right.
That's one from the Lyran set.
That's not you, is it? With the tits? No. Is that you, Sophie?
Yeah,
Sorry,
I'm a little more lion-y, a little less cheetah-y.
I didn't say that on what live, did I? Oh, dear.
You did, sir, but I think we can move on.
I don't know. We're having trouble hearing you, Bradley.
I said a swear word. Yeah.
Yeah, Billy Bennett has a really interesting observation / question.
I remember when I said the word ento. I won't say the word because he got the show deleted, didn't he? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I read it off the forum.
Yeah.
You told me I said the N word.
And I had to explain to you the cultural significance. And you were like, oh my God, I didn't mean to.
I said the N word, Jim, in the show, read it off the forum, ento. But I won't say what the word was. And the show got deleted all through the forum.
So something I want to say to Cassie very quickly. 2 things. Number one, your project looks absolutely incredible. I live for the sorry, don't know what that noise was.
Well, you guys see the Dracos.
Sorry, guys. I live for anything creative, and I think that is the most beautiful thing you could have done for your daughter. Very sorry for what you must have been through. I will make sure to spread the word on this project because let me tell you, my friend, seeing that I love anything creative. I think most people would agree. I'll make sure to spread the word. I think it has a lot of potential and it looks amazing. And you know what, man, that's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
I love you for that.
Sorry, guys.
A question for me, Bradley Powers. What is your take on the new king? The new king is, do you know what? I don't resonate with him when he was a Prince Charles. I didn't resonate with him as a prince, and I don't resonate with him as a king. One of the younger siblings, one of the princes, should be king. To be honest with you, a lot of the country would prefer one of the princes to be king. King Charles is not a real king. He's egotistic. I think he's a narcissist myself. He's not a very nice person. He doesn't approve of the press. The press are what make him who he is today. The media, they actually promote him. The royal family, the monarchy, bring a lot of money in inland revenue, in tax into this country. They do. And unfortunately, Prince Charles is not an ideal figure. He's not a role model. What's his attributes? What's his gifts? You know? I believe one of the princes Prince William or Prince Harry should be king, not Prince Charles. He's not worthy to be king, I don't think.
His gift is his inheritance.
Yeah, that's right. And what happened to the guy who came forward and said, I am the real king. I am the real king. And you stole the paperwork and the bloodlines, the paper, the credentials to support the fact that he is the real king. He's gone missing, isn't he? Where's he gone?
This also debate has.
I think that's why they messed with Barry John Bauer. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. You're all right, Cassidae. Yeah, Mike Hewins only likes Harry.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just for you, buddy. I'll do one with like a smoke or something, and yeah, I'll figure it out.
I'll tell you what you could do. You could do a roar.
Maybe.
Cassidae Lightwing is in the house. Roar. We haven't heard that for a long time.
Felt good. Now, my opinion on the whole Prince Charles thing, you know, I'm going to just quote one of my favorite shows, "Ground for a King."
Yeah, Harry is a bit of a rebel. Absolutely not. Hi there, Marianne from Ghost House Paranormal. Yes, hello, my handsome guys. That's us. Wee. She's talking about us, guys.
And stay tuned to the whole family, because we're working with Marianne on a show for the big channel as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done
We're in
indeed.
pre-production.
And Marianne, you're welcome along to be a guest on the show next week if you wish, Marianne Clark. It'd be a pleasure to have you back.
I don't know much about Harry, but from what I understand, he seems to be KO.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he is a rebel and he's okay. He's a rebel.
Well, you know.
Oh, sorry, Cassie. Continue.
No, please go ahead.
No, my only comment was, I think whenever it comes to politics, or especially like, okay, so the way that the Britain works, especially like having a monarchy, like most obviously like America having presidency, some countries having dictatorship. I think like it's kind of there's a lot to say on the subject, really. I think there's always going to be left and right opinions, or kind of split opinions on if you're someone that's of importance or someone that's in power. There's always going to be politics within the politics. I think, look, we don't know this guy personally. I think obviously Charles himself's got a lot of questionable things that he's probably done, like most other human beings. I'm kind of open to the whole thing. I can understand if people have problems with him as a human being. Personally, I don't really get involved in the politics very much, based on it will always be convoluted. Politics will always be convoluted. No one will always have their say, because there's always something to be said against it.
With Prince Charles, he's very pompous. Do you know what I mean? If you understand the word pompous, he's very pompous.
Yeah, that's kind of the way of life we expect in terms of royalty. If you're born into royalty and that's where you come from, you're going to have that thrown at you, I guess.
Usually,
don't forget, Prince Philip was the Grand Master Wizard of the Freemasons before he died.
Oh, the dude was a flat racist. We know that he was a flat, old-fashioned racist. He thought the Welsh were all like peasants and stuff.
Yeah.
I find it kind of funny, but like I don't agree with it. I'm just saying this doesn't affect me based on.
What was you going to say, Jim?
I was going to say there's usually another word that goes with that phrase of pompous that you left out.
Pompous donkey?
Pompous ass.
Yes.
Oh, when you say it with that accent. Oh, ass. Oh, that was. Oh.
Did you say arse or ass?
No cussing. Only
no
ass.
cussing. You just cussed, Bradley.
I think
it's the extra H that makes it not a cuss.
Say ass. We say arse.
The funny thing, though, if you look at history, like I remember being it's like this is the thing with being British. I remember like in school, like you go through history, like if we're going back to like the Crusades or Tudor times in history, and like this is something a lot of people, I'm sure a lot of people, if you know what I'm talking about, can identify with. Like you have like dramas, like things filmed for educational purposes, going back to like King's Reign and stuff. And they'd always be pompous, like in the regard that like a king would always be some guy on his throne with his crown. He'd like be like stuffing his neck with like a leg of mutton, drinking too much beer, and just yelling orders at people.
Pompous is when you look down. You're above everybody else. That's pompous. You look down upon everybody else, and you belittle other people because you're pompous, and you're pompous.
Oh, that's a good description of the 1%. Pompous.
Pompous. That's a very good. Thank you, Jim, for that. Yeah,
you suck.
Oh, Sean Webber's in the house. Hi there, Sean. Thank you for joining us. Meet the crew.
I've been meaning to ask Cassie now that I get him on here. Cassie, what do you think of this? Now, when they teach Christianity, the Catholic religion, right? They call that what? Catechism?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, catechism, right? Now, how close is that to the word catechism?
Very close. It's like one letter off, right?
Do you think that's coincidental?
No, I don't.
I don't either. That's what I was telling Bradley the other day.
One of the things that we say all the time in the network, hope is coming. One of the things that is going to be very, very useful is that in the spiritual war that's going on, it's going to get a lot worse. The factions must identify themselves. It's like a law of hyperphysics. So the enemy will. You guys are going to find out that a lot of things you thought were just innocent. We're just doing a satanic parody at the Grammy. No, it was real. Things like that is, I'm not sure if that'll be one of the things that are going to be revealed to have been a clue the whole time, but it very well could be. We need somebody who's better with the English language to go into that one.
Yeah.
Hi there, Jenna Lee. Jenna Lee's joined us. Thank you for joining us.
Jenna!
Well,
Jenna.
Donnie, have you got anything to say?
No, sir, not at the moment.
Right, let's just start with.
I was just listening.
Gone. Donnie.
I think the issue is with it when it comes to the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church itself is not evil. The Catholic Church itself is not bad. However, certain individual powers within the Catholic Church, certain cardinals, certain popes, certain, and what have you, they're predators. And as we've said before, predators will find their way.
Extremism is the point. Sorry, just add to your extremism.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A clever extremist can bend even Christianity to make it sound like, oh, well, yeah, of course we got to kill all those guys. Their skin is blue. Of course we got to get them. That was talking about the Gaelics and the Irish, by the way.
The Vatican is another country, isn't it, Cassidae? The Vatican is another country. It's not part of Italy.
I don't think it's another country. I think it's a separate principality. I think.
Same as Washington and London.
They've got more money than any other country. I know that.
Well, yeah.
Washington, London, and the Vatican do not belong. They are their own enterprise, their own foundations. They don't actually belong to a part of the country that their foundations are in. They don't belong to that country, really. They are separate entities.
We should look into that. I know they can have their own military, they have their own budget, but I'm not sure if they're considered like a second, their own country globally, or if they're still part of Italy.
Well, they're sovereign. I believe they're sovereign.
Right.
You were talking about things to be revealed in the future. I think this thing that I'm hooked to is because they can do anything they want to with it. I think it's going to come out on mainstream as far as the people that are. There's millions of people hooked to this thing.
Cass was saying before, religion is a big topic on this. So sorry to add a quick comment. Extremism can apply to many different aspects of life, but especially something like religion. When it comes to belief system, like extremism in any form is not the greatest. It's great if you are yourself an extremist. When it comes to religion, I think personally, I respect religion. I think it all has its place. What we mock and we have to joke about is the extremist views of that, because especially when it comes to Christianity and being a Catholic, like the reputation is on point when it comes to extremists, when it comes to Christianity. But anything extremist when it comes to religion or politics is always going to be not the greatest. But if you're a balanced human being and you've got a balanced viewpoint, I've got friends that are Christians, for example, but there are also people who are willing to hear your side of the story. The people who are willing to hear your perspective on perception, what life means to you, and they're open to admitting if they're wrong and comprehending that what they've been told might be wrong.
Yeah.
And Facebook user says, yes, Vatican City is a sovereign state.
Thank you, Facebook user.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think that. Okay, that was kind of my point earlier. There's predators in every organization. We can't blame the tenets or like the ideals of Christianity for the
Yeah.
predators that have gotten into and abused it. You see what I mean? Quite
Yeah,
frankly,
see, the problem is that it finds its way at the higher level.
yeah.
You know, that's where the problem lies.
Right. Well, that's where extremism starts. It's always that ideal to do good. Like, for example, say the Vatican set up a particular order to root out those predators, right? Those then, we'll call them the Crimson Knights of Butwa. All right. So then the Crimson Butwa Knights could, they're the greatest force for good the world's ever seen. But then there's one guy, Charles Cavalier. Aha, Mr. Charles. He takes the Butwa Knight code way too far.
Well, you know what it is, the power. You know, they get up to that level.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
It's in every aspect of society.
And then money becomes a factor, and then money gives control.
Yeah. Now,
what must bear in mind is an element of truth in all religions.
You know, like you could have peasants that overthrow a kingdom, and then eventually they start being replaying history. You know, becoming those who they overthrew. You know what I mean?
Rasputin, lover of the Russian
you're up
king.
at that high echelon there where you can do that, and it's so tempting that it just keeps repeating itself historically, recurring without fail. You know.
Oh yeah. Real quick, going back to what Donnie was saying, the thing is, he's talking about millions of people hooked up to this machine. Do you think maybe that's why they're bringing all these like crazy sounding stories, because they're trying to come up with bigger and bigger things to keep people from seeing what you're talking about?
Of course.
Yeah, sure, because this thing, it can be the beast like the Bible talks about. You're talking about Christianity.
Yes.
So this thing can be my bank account. It can be anything they wish it to be already. And so, yeah, there's nothing they can do with it. Yeah. They heal me with it or kill me with it.
Sorry. Yeah, Donnie, thank you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Donnie, I didn't mean to interrupt. No, they can do anything they want to. That's what you're saying, Donnie, isn't it? Yeah.
I know what you're talking about, Marianne. The message might have seemed a little confusing. A lot of people forget Char was as deaf as I am blind, so she had a really weird way of pronouncing things. For example, we might have caught it on camera, but we were playing Fortnite, and the first time she got a sniper rifle, she started cheering, "I got to snip a biffle! I got to snip a biffle!" It was absolutely adorable. So I know it translated through Char's speech impediment. I know what she said. Thank you, Marianne.
And Jenna Lee says, yes, everything real has been manipulated and inverted. Dogma spelled backwards is I am God. So the common question we teachers are asked is, so what can we do? This is what we must answer with clarity, friends. This is our responsibility now. What can we do is, as light workers, is shine the light upon those around us and awaken everyone from their slumber, as many people as we can, and help them to recognize is the word of power, help them to recognize themselves, recognize their gifts and their attributes and their qualities, and to recognize that the world, not everything is as it seems.
Well, you cannot control free will. Yeah. You can certainly influence it.
That's right.
That were wise words, sir. Now, as for the deception, it's easier said than done. So, like, don't think this is normal cocky cast. You going, oh, well, you just bend the reality. That I do understand this is easier said than done, but the answer is basically what everyone must do right now with the call of deception that's been pulled over society. Find the truths that you know to be true in your heart. Don't care what anyone else says. Don't listen to what anyone else says. What's true, the core tenets of what make right, wrong, and then find that note and make that shine. Walk that path, regardless of the consequences. Because, folks, hope is coming. But until then, it's going to hurt a little.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I told Jim. Hope is
Well
coming.
said.
Donnie, what do you think? Is hope coming?
That's a good question. So, do
I
they
know.
put you in the house arrest is what I got too. They can control everything about you.
Jim thinks there's only two hopes, Bob Hope and no hope. Well, I think that there is also hope.
There's
We
always,
do have hope.
there's always hope. That doesn't mean it's going to help.
Okay,
Well-
that's a very provocative thing you just said, Brad.
Yeah.
If you want the truth, I don't mind speaking to all of you about this subject. To be honest, again, hope is a very broad, sentiment and word. But for me, in my lifetime, the people that are considered to be the closest to me have betrayed me and betrayed my trust, and proven that the argument of blood is thicker than water is not always true. My blood relatives have not only betrayed me, but reminded me that sometimes you cannot force relationships. My friends are mostly people who aren't related to me. And when it comes to hope, is the people that aren't related to me by blood have probably become the closest to me, the most inspiring, and themselves giving me hope. So again, my addition to this topic is hope can come from anywhere.
Yeah, don't get hope and faith mixed up.
Point of educational order. The phrase "blood is thicker than water" is actually a misquote. The full phrase. English loves to do this. They take the juicy part and then
Okay.
the full phrase is "the blood of the battlefield is thicker than the water of the womb."
That's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that and explaining. I had a feeling that was probably
It was a
meddled with.
Roman phrase. Yeah. Well, it was Roman, so you know.
That makes
And
sense.
yes,
Yeah.
and yes, Marianne, I read it after the show.
Marianne Clark says, hello, Jim, Andre, Bradley Powers, Donnie, and Cassidae Lightwing. Thank you for joining us, Marianne Clark.
Yeah. Kristen, my partner on the coffee time, would say, in response to the deception, walk in audacious faith. Doesn't matter what faith. She herself is Christian. I kind of consider myself a pseudo, not very good Christian, but whatever you have faith in, even if it's just a flying spaghetti monster, have faith in it. Like, make it powerful. Walk it. Make it part of who you are. I mean, that's how the enemy got us in this situation.
Yeah.
Donald Klingerman is watching from West Virginia. Hi, Donald.
West Virginia, Mountain Mama.
I knew you were going to do that. I had a feeling you were, but I don't blame you for
Take
going
me
that road.
home. Yep.
Country road.
Cassidae Lightwing is entertainment on legs, isn't he, really? He's an exhibitionist. Good attention or bad attention, he just loves it up.
I think that's why God put me in a boy body, because I'd be in trouble if I was a girl.
Yeah. I've met you when you are a girl, Jennifer.
Oh, well said, well played.
And I prefer you, Cassidae, because Jennifer don't like me.
Well, you know, that's kind of it. I am a real life actual two-spirit Heyoka, like actually recognized and everything. That's the other spirit.
That's called your alter ego, and many people have alter egos, Cassidae, so it's nothing to be ashamed of. Alter egos are quite common, actually.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We should do a show on, do you have an alter ego? Jim, do you have an alter ego?
I don't believe I do.
What about you, Donnie?
Cassidae,
I don't think I do.
Can one play the other?
Absolutely. And
so how do we really know who's on with us when you appear?
Well, again, there's that audacious faith. They might be giants has a song called I can't remember what it's called, but the line that
they must be giants. Well, that song, isn't it?
Yeah, they say, where your eyes don't go, a filthy scarecrow waves its broomstick arms and does a parody of each unconscious thing you do. When you turn to look behind you, on its face, it's wearing your confused expression. Kind of poignant philosophically. And the thing is I mean, who here hasn't screwed up something that they were trying to build that was good,
Right.
and you had every good intention, but it still went to hell.
Yeah.
Many.
I mean,
Maybe.
those of you who've been watching the longest, we've done that ourselves. I've been my own worst enemy many times. So it's like it's endemic. I mean, even the visitors have this problem. It's part of the, if I may, human
Birdhouse in your soul.
experience. Yes, sir.
Birdhouse in your soul, Cassidae.
I'm your only friend. I'm not your only friend,
Yeah.
but I'm a little glowing friend.
I've just
but
added
really,
it to my playlist. Birdhouse in your soul. I haven't heard that for a long time. Thank you for bringing that up, Cassidae.
you're welcome. My wife calls me a jukebox.
Yes, yeah, jukebox, yeah.
We love you too, Marianne.
Yeah. Well, we've got 10 minutes left of the show. So, Donnie, is there anything you'd like to add, or Jim?
I'm good right
Other than my book, which is out there, it tells all about my experiences and stuff. It's my autobiography.
And what's it called, the name of your book, Donnie?
Bandit and Outlaw for God. It's,
Bandit and Outlaw for God.
Yeah, it's on.
Because you was a bandit, then.
Yeah, I was
When
known
did
as a bandit.
when did it come out, my friend? What's the release date?
Hold on 1 second, guys. All right, in the private chat, I put a link. Go ahead and put the link in the public chat. There we go.
What are we doing?
Bandit, Outlaw for God. It's out now and
Bandit
it can be
and
found on Amazon Books and ebooks. And what else, Donnie?
Barnes and Noble, Walmart. And it tells about my experiences.
Your autobiography,
And,
true story, 191 pages. How much does it cost, Donnie?
Last I checked, it was like 33 or 34 at ebook or Barnes and Noble. And my publisher is Rose Dogs Books in Pennsylvania.
Oh, thank you, Jim. Thank you so much for doing this.
You're
That's
welcome.
worth a lot.
Thank you,
Make
Jim.
sure
Bandit, an outlaw for God. You was an outlaw for God, Donnie, was you?
Aren't we all?
You're
We're all
governor.
God's madmen here.
Governor Brad, but you're worried the governor now.
I was a bandit once.
Yes,
You've been out gov.
well, that's what I was known on the
You too,
road driving a big truck. Was a bandit.
I was a gangster for a little while. Then I got hungry, went and got pizza.
Yeah.
No, that's a joke. I was never a gangster.
Jim and Donnie were both worked for the government agency. They were both marshals with their 6-shooters. I didn't have a 6-shooter. I had a double-barrel shotgun.
I think we clarified that Jim was keeping Gotham safe with the Batman.
I had a double-barrel
Gentleman
shotgun
Jim.
and I had a 6-shooter, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With a double-barrel shotgun, you don't need to aim, you just need to fire and everything gets obliterated in front of you.
Yeah, spread.
Especially if it's sawed right.
Yeah.
Just call them room sweepers, right?
Henry Lee says, good evening from the old Gilchrist County Jail in Trenton, Florida. What the?
What'd you do, broski?
Wow.
Or are you an innocent man wrongfully convicted?
We are broadcasting to the old Gilchrist County Jail in Trenton, Florida. Well, what do you know? Thank you for joining us, Henry Lee. It's a pleasure to have you near us.
Yeah, it's awesome.
We've got 6 minutes left, so let's keep the show riveting.
Henry.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have Cassidae Lightwing in the house. Esoteric Hours will be making a comeback in the near future, it looks like. That's very good news to hear as well.
Yes, yeah, that's one of the things that I'm very excited about. It's good. It's going to be good to get back to that.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the owner.
So,
Well, that explains.
Henry,
That explains it, doesn't it?
That killed my entire line of jokes. Now I got to think of new jokes.
It's the owner of the county jail.
He's the owner. How's business, Henry?
Henry Lee says it's the 1928 Paranormal Active Jail. Wow, you must get many visitors for that.
Maybe we could come do a show there sometime.
Yeah, come on this show, Henry, and share some of your stories. We'd love to hear from them. Just inbox me or Jim Andre, and we could get a show rolling.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
That would make an interesting show.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. And Marion Clark is waiting for your permission to be granted to appear on the show next week, Cassidae. She says you're the boss. Henry
Talk
Lee
to me about it later.
Henry says no living inmates.
Oh, well then my old prisoners will be released.
They've all been
Be
executed.
extra scary.
They've all been executed.
Yeah.
Darkness crawls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand, and grisly ghouls from every tomb come crawling in to seal your doom.
Which reminds me, Cassidae and Donnie, you've got to hear Jim Andre take. He sings. It was a mash. It was a monster mash. You've got to hear that sometime. Jim Andre sings Monster Mash. Yes, absolutely.
Only around Halloween.
Yeah. We'll save it for Halloween.
Special treats if you such.
And Jim Andre blends in.
I keep forgetting the coffee's empty.
Who sang Monster Mash? Was it Boris Karloff? No.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Ironically, he was Frankenstein.
Yeah.
The definitive Frankenstein. Also, on the topic, Boris Karloff was the man that was one of the people that was fundamental to the Actors Guild, where actors didn't have rights.
Yeah.
And he was one of the one of 3 people who advocated for actors' rights.
So who was Monster Mash?
You're going to love this.
Vincent Price was also in them horror movies.
Yeah. It was a band called the Crypt Kickers.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
I had to Google it.
Oh, you see, well, we've got 2.5 minutes left. It's been a brilliant show. Thank you so much, Cassidae Lightwing, for coming and saving the show. We were struggling to get a guest. Thank you, Donnie Lothridge, for appearing on the show and promoting your book. Thank you, Jim Andre, my co-host. No, sorry, my host. For appearing on Jim's show, really. I'm stealing it slowly.
Trying.
He called me a co-host the other day, Cassidae.
He
out of the box of films, but
he got a little insulted when I said my co-host Bradley Powers.
Because Jim said it was our show, and then he called me his co-host, and I was going, "Hey, Jim, what's this all about?" Like, you know?
Which one's the clone?
Jim is the American Bradley Powers, if you don't know him.
Always Bradley Powers, the British Jim.
And
Right.
so
That's
Henry
right,
Lee said, "Love Forest in Arsenic and Old Slaves." Yeah. And Marion Clark says, "Love you guys. Had a wonderful night. Thank you, Marion Clark." And Henry Lee says, "Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We got like 90 seconds left. Thank you so much for joining us, for your contributions to the group forum. And thank you, everybody, for being here. It's a pleasure to have you near us."
Yeah, it's been awesome, guys. Nice to catch up with you, Cassidae.
Tom Edward Evans.
Nice to meet Donnie.
Good to
tonight.
see you, man.
Pleasure, sir.
Pleasure to meet you.
And nice to see Jim as always.
We love
Thanks
you,
for
everybody.
joining
Be
us.
safe out there.
Yeah, we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Donnie. Thank you, Cass. Thank you, Tom.
Privilege.